Number 31 says graph the function, state the end behavior, x-intercepts, and intervals where the function is above or below the x-axis. Now, since this function is already in factored form, we can easily tell that the x-intercepts will be at -2, 3, and 1. Those are the zeros. So we can see that from this graph that those are where the 3 zeros are placed. And -2 here, 3, and 1. And so the first one we can answer is x-intercepts, which are -2, 3, and 1. Next, what about the end behavior? End behavior is when we're talking about at the end of the graph. So we need to set this up as x approach -infinity, f of x approaches. So which means as x goes to the left side, this graph is pointing down, so it's going to -infinity. And as x approach +infinity, f of x, which means as we go towards the right hand side of the graph is going to keep pointing up, so it's going to go up to +infinity. So that's the end behavior of this graph. Next, where is the graph above the x-axis? Which means that here is the x-axis, but where is the graph above? So where it's above is this curve right here. So it's between the first and the second zero that it's going to be above the x-axis. So, and it's also going to be after the third zero. So wherever it's green shaded in, that's where it's going to be above the zero. So the way that we describe it, you can use the brackets. So from -2 to 3, that's one interval. And the next interval is from 1 to infinity. And where is the graph going to be below is that anything to the left side of -2 and between 3 and 1. And excuse me, actually this is 1 and this is 3. I don't know what I'm doing. Must be really late now. So let me change that from -2 to 1, and then from 3 to infinity. And then where it's below the x-axis is that from -infinity to -2, and also between 1 and 3, and that is where it's going to be below the x-axis. So that's the end of the problem. I already have the graph, so I've answered every part of the question.